We don't hate each other.
No, we
So
don't.
what's happening? Because there's this bickering that's going on.
Yeah, it is.
Like these different tribes, different traditions, different cultures, they're just clashing every single time. What do you think is a problem?
Is it our generation which is clashing?
I don't think it's a generation.
Because I think the truth is also in this room. Like all of us are from different tribes, from different cultures. But look at where we are today. We're talking, we're engaging in conversation, we're sharing ideas. So I don't think so, man.
I don't think we are.
I think it's an ego thing.
Okay.
I'll say it's a thing of who's better. It's not that we hate each other, but it's a fight of who's the better tribe.
Which is closer.
Birds in the trap, they gon' stink model. Mara serving the act out of big beat bottle. Don't tell me shut up, you are not my boss. Turn up so much now I just can't turn off. Don't call me back since you can't answer when I call you. Daddy was a rolling stone, I get it from my father. Chain so heavy that I can't all the she know I was the devil cause I was.
My good people, welcome to another one. Welcome to another episode of the Collection Podcast. I am your host, John Pankom. I go by the name of Awetu. We're back at it again. Another episode. This is our third episode. We're going in hard.
Yeah.
Before we start this episode, I have a special announcement to make. As a podcast, we are growing most as years. You know, start small and then you just keep on growing. We're just gonna keep on growing it for you guys. And yeah, this is the voice of the voiceless. So we're gonna be keep on talking about stuff that are affecting the youth and all of them. But the announcement I have to make is that we have a new co-host in our podcast. His name is So yeah, he's gonna be my co-host. You're gonna be hosting the show together. I'm looking forward to working with you. So I'm just gonna do the tradition thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce the people behind the camera. So in my sound I have Michael. In my camera, behind my camera I have AD. So yeah, my brother, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So as you know, today I want us to speak about something that's very close to me.
Okay.
Something that many people have neglected over the years, especially the youth. And I want us to talk about the importances of having it and the importances of preserving it within the youth.
Okay.
As you know, as black people, we have heritage.
Yeah, that's true.
We have traditions that we follow. Where I'm from, my traditions will be different from where you're from, so as well as other people, right?
Yeah.
What comes to mind when you think about the word tradition?
That's a very, very interesting question to actually think about. So, the word tradition actually, what comes to mind when I hear it is the originality, the roots, like exactly where I come from, you know. My values, my morals, you know. Yeah, actually that's what comes to my mind. How about you?
What comes to mind when I think about the word tradition is pride.
Pride. Okay.
It's pride. It's we culture from where I come from. You know what I mean? Like in Xhosa, like a long line of a dynasty, if I can put it that way. Like to know where I come from, tradition will help me with my identity to know who am I.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that comes to mind, pride.
So like, would you say like people that don't know who they are, don't like know their tradition or like?
Okay.
Like now, I don't understand. Maybe.
Now let me put it like this. I don't want to say that people who don't know their tradition do not have their identity.
Okay.
But as a black person, I'm just gonna speak from a black perspective.
Yeah.
As a black person, if you know your tradition or you know where you come from, it kind of helps you in life to know who you are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, side note, I speak Zulu.
Yeah,
Right?
I speak Zulu. Okay.
Like my life story is quite different. It's hilarious, but again, I'm just gonna share with you guys.
Okay.
Originally on Xhosa.
So like your parents are Xhosa.
Originally,
Okay.
like I'm called like full blown Xhosa. You know what I mean? But then now, that what happened between my mom and my dad is that you know how it goes.
Yeah. Like
And then I ended up going in studying and growing up in Durban, which is where I learned history, right? But what I commend my father and my mother for doing is that despite of their differences, yeah, my mom can say that at that time she didn't have the best of things to say about my father at that time, you know what I mean? But then she never forgot to show me or to let me, to remind me about this is where you come from, this is your home, this is what you should expect it as you as a Xhosa man, and this is what you should be doing. And my father was, even though he was not always present there, but I used to go visit him now and then, and he used to show me, yo, as a Xhosa person, this is how you do it, this is how you do that. So I always commend them for that, and they help me along the way. Because some of the people will look at my story and say, is it not confusing at some time?
Yeah, because like honestly, knowing you, right? Like you saying that you speak Zulu, but then you're also Xhosa. That was kind of like confusing for me. But then as you're explaining it right now, I'm getting to understand exactly where you come from. So yeah.
Because like as I said, it's confusing to you, right?
Yeah.
How much more than to me? Because now, if they weren't there, I would have been way more confused. Because now I'm speaking Zulu, but then I'm told how that aligning. So yeah, man. To know the tradition behind it was really helpful for me for self-identity
to understand.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that tradition can help with your identity.
Yeah. From my side, of course, from the Eastern Cape to town, and also like I would say, tradition, Ubuntu, isiko actually, helped me to also understand India, you know, where I come from.
Okay.
Because like we live in like spaces where Ubuntu is very important. You know, so yeah, man, like.
Okay, now we have moved from how things were done in ancient times, now in modern times.
Okay.
Seeing the way that the tradition that the youth are taking, and everything that's going on right now, like we are mostly, I think, like we are mostly driven by Western culture, Western culture. You know what I'm saying? So, to help us to understand tradition more, what do you think the youth should be doing in modern times to not forget where they come from? Because that's very important.
You see, my brother, I'll talk from my own experience, what I did, you know, because for sure I'm also one of a band that are growing in these times.
Yeah.
So I also understand how the youth also thinks about Izini, you know, because I'm also one of them. So one thing I can say is that in a place where there's a lot of abantu abatal, like grandmothers, that grew up from Lamadrashatal. So I got that opportunity of asking them questions, you know, such as like what's different from India, abantu abapila kunendlela nandiphila ngayo. They would actually, you know, explain to me how they actually lived. So I got to actually understand how the world changed, how people changed amongst the years, you know. So yeah, man, and also just doing your own research, man. Talking to people, getting to know like from their own traditions, their own cultural spaces. So yeah, that would also help to make the youth understand how people do things.
Knowing you, I feel like you are. So when I was thinking about this topic, right, I was just sitting down and just brainstorm. You're the first person I thought about, because I feel like knowing you and the way you move, you are very traditionally, culturally, you know what I mean, orientated. So I want you to elaborate more on that. How did it help you to shape you as a person, to know your culture and to be proud of it?
You can speak
as if you want, because I feel like this is deep for you, you know what I mean?
So, okay, so this comes back from India and Kulima.
Okay.
So
yes, take us back.
From Eastern Cape. So I used to see India Labandu, like my uncles would do Izindo, like the ceremonies that we usually have as Lalini. So I would see the men, the way they carry themselves, man, And then I would be like, no man, can you mean and be respected by abantu because they seemed like they know everything about what's related to what they are doing in the ceremonies, amasiko that we usually do. So I got to see that and I got to experience that space. But no man, okay, this is me actually. Okay, because ningumXhosa, so now I'm a Xhosa. So benza amasiko is theatre, you know. So that got to actually clock in my mind, but no, Lendlela Lena is the right route for me, for my also, you know, upcoming generations. So yeah, man, and also so nakhula kanjalo yabo in a space apho ukho izinto ezenzeka ezinje, and then after that I was then exposed now everybody yeah. So now I also had to follow the same procedure indlela eqhutywa ngayo ezilalini. So indlela endinabona ngayo kuba it's very important to know exactly uba kwenziwa njani izinto as where actually you come from, indlela izinto abantu abazenza abaqhuba ngayo yabo, so that abantu bazounderstand indlela ocinga ngayo nendlela awenza ngayo, because that also affects you in a way that indlela ocinga ngayo is also indlela abantu abenza ngayo, where you come from. Okay. So yeah.
Alright. Now this is a weird question, but I have to ask it because now isn't it we're speaking about the current issues that are facing the youth, right? So as the youth of 2025, as a like 2000, we are labeled as the weakest generation ever. So
okay,
I have a question. Do you think that young men should know their tradition and where and the culture and where they come from in order for them to be considered a strong man? Or is that overrated? In your opinion? In your opinion?
Okay, that's a very beautiful question. Okay. In my own opinion,
You have to think about this question. You have to think about this question because think about it, dog.
Yeah.
Because every single time we always under the stereotype as the youth that we are weak men, we are a weak generation. We don't really like to work. We are lazy. All of those things. So judging from what you're saying, right? You said you look at how all the people or all the men carry themselves, and then you took it from there, which means that was a good example for you. So looking at the generation that we're in right now, because we're not all the same, right? Looking at the generation that we're in right now, do you think that tradition and culture can fix this stereotype of them considering us the weakest generation?
I think the tradition and culture can fix how youth actually thinks.
Okay.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, knowing what you are aiming for in life, how you will act towards that goal. So when it comes to izinto, I think that has an effect towards the youth thinks.
Okay.
You know, and also the way they carry themselves. Because as long as you was like example, I'm colleague spaces in that. Now we're going to end okay, angel and for act I wanna act like this kind of I wanna follow this path. So yeah, man, I think if youth can actually change the way speaking from a Xhosa perspective, then they would actually understand So yeah, man, I don't know if I answered the question, but
this is a broad question. So what I'm going to do right now, apparently today we have an audience. There's a gang of niggas here, but there's a lot of people here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna open the floor.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask a question. One of you gents must answer. And do you think that tradition can fix the stereotype under men in nowadays? Because they call us the weak men, right? So do you think tradition can fix that? Any one of you can answer. Spoon, what do you think?
Tradition can fix weak men. I think what does it mean first? You have to define what it means to be a weak man. A weak man.
A weak man is someone who doesn't take responsibility. You know what I mean? It's someone who doesn't take accountability, right? So do you think that? Sorry about that. The phone is ringing. So do you think that tradition can fix the stereotype about men? Because in ancient times, right? Like like now as a Zulu man, we've got like yes, like we do
Yeah.
because of the traditions in culture.
I say it's not tradition that makes a man, but men that make other men.
Okay.
So having a structured family that you grow around, maybe a household full of guys who can groom you up to be a man. That's how you grow. It's not necessarily tradition, it's just having people around you can groom you up to be the man you're meant to be, somebody to look up to.
Okay.
Because to be a man, you have to look up to other men.
Okay.
And if there's no men around, there's no example to look up to. So it's not necessarily tradition, but have people around you who are men by their actions to look up to so you can be what they are, in a sense.
Okay. So what do you think is
I think that tradition can help shape men, but it can't automatically fix their weaknesses.
okay?
Let me cook. But then, like, I mean,
Cook.
but it doesn't build men. This is what I'm going to say is very controversial, but I have to say.
Yeah.
So for an example, being Kosa and undergoing the whole initiation thing,
Yeah.
the tradition says you're a man, but does your responsibility and the way that you act say you're a man? Because I think in Kosa they do say it, or in Zulu,
Yes.
Yeah.
as much as tradition says you're a man, but do your actions say you are actually a man?
Okay.
So yeah, it can help shape them, but it won't fix the weaknesses, because you can go through all of that, but you'll still be a weak guy. You'll still be a weak man. So it won't fix it. It comes from within. It has to be you that says, "Oh, I want to change. I want to be."
So the decision maker is you.
Yeah, it's within.
Yeah.
Tradition won't fix it. Because even like if you look back in the day, many absent fathers were back in the day in comparison to today. And there certain culture, tradition, and everything was followed
Yeah.
mostly in comparison to today.
That's true, actually.
That's my stance.
That's,
I hear you.
that's
I
great.
hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
So we've concluded that tradition can't fix anything. But again,
You can fix.
No,
okay.
It just depends.
That's
on
to
the
a
person.
point, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on like, do you want to be fixed as a person? And then if you want to be fixed as a person, then you start following your thing, your tradition. Because tradition, I believe that it can fix the country.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. For example, listen.
Okay.
Let me learn. Okay. Tradition,
Mm.
I said firstly that it's knowing who you are, where you come from, and where you're going as a person. And now imagine if everyone knows their tradition or culture. Wouldn't that help to actually give people the route to follow?
What I like about this whole thing, right? What I like about this whole thing is the fact that you asking that question. In this room, we are filled with different types of traditions. And cultures, right? And for some reason, we can all able to sit in one room, right?
Okay.
And I feel like every single person sitting here knows a little bit about their tradition and knows a little bit about their culture.
Yeah.
So what you are saying is a testament. The testament of it is right here in this room.
Yeah.
Because knowing your tradition and knowing your culture, you'll be like, okay, I know who am I and where I come from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have morals and I have rules that will help me to navigate a certain situation, like being able to deal with the person one-on-one. You know, like having a background that is actually good can actually teach you some of those skills.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it, when I'm this person doesn't have it, and who's going to back there, right? So the way you act is the testament of where you come from.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So having a good tradition structure will actually enable you to do a lot of things in life.
Because, for example, if we take someone that grew up in those people have like deep knowledge about their tradition and culture. And then we take a small young boy that lived his whole entire life up there, at the Mhlawumbe.
Yeah.
But then that small young boy knows that his course, he comes from PP. And then we make these two boys sit in one room. And then these two boys have to like discuss about life in how they see life, how they think about maybe things that happen in life. They would for sure have different perspectives towards how to approach in life. Yeah. But then at the same time, that will also like come does this boy knows where he comes from? Does this boy knows where he's going?
Interesting you mentioned that. Like there's been this debate that was going around. I saw it somewhere, and I've been reading about it. Do you think that now, as obviously in the future you want to be a parent?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that teaching your kids vernacular languages like Zulu, Xhosa, and stuff where you come from is a good basis to teach them about their tradition? Or you should just let them learn English when they go into private schools? Because it's not like we're gonna be. I'm speaking of prophecy. We're gonna have money. I'm just letting you know. We are going to be those guys. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna be good in life, right? Obviously, if you're good in life, we're gonna take your kids to our best schools, right? But in those schools, they don't necessarily teach vernacular.
Yeah.
It's only English in Africa, right? So. Will it be your job to teach them vernacular languages? And if you do teach them vernacular languages, do you think that it's a great basis for them to know their tradition and where they come from?
I think it's a very, very solid basis or solid foundation to actually get them to know where they come from. For an example, there's a guy, that lived years up in Kapa. He went to these private schools. But then his parents, one thing I love about his parents is that each and every December, that guy is in Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
That guy is there. That guy learns what we do in Eastern Cape. That guy learns his language, the culture. Yeah. So, all in all, I would say that it would be a very, very good thing to actually let your kids be exposed into a tradition and a culture.
Okay.
So that in the future, such things, and then at the same time, his peers, when you have peers, they know these things, but then your child doesn't know these things. How will that child feel? That child won't even relate with the So yeah, man, I think Umdana has to have that foundation of knowledge.
I also think so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's even in my household. I'm not going to be a street, but it's in my household. You can speak your English outside. When you get in here, are you speaking Zulu? You're speaking Xhosa. It would depend which way we're going, but you are speaking vernacular in this house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Now you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, for example, up here ever Sydney, we speak English every day.
True.
But then, are you gonna tell me that when you go back home, you speak English to your mom? You'll be like, no, mom, I'm hungry.
Yo. No way. Even now, this podcast you have to do it in English. Like, we're trying to reach some person what you've done. But at the same time, if we never get into this, we're never enter something. It's about easy, no? I guess so. Always my thing. But you can't get like they will let you know. Seeing that until now we're in heritage band. I don't know if it's their job or it's our job to ask them to change. Because I feel like most of us are lost. Do you think that the issue, looking at the way things are going right now,
the issue that is that
tradition is
as a parent
nearing its end
of those people that don't actually know their tradition and culture are the ones to blame.
How so?
I'll even go hard in this play. My brother, if you want your child to know his tradition or her tradition and culture, then you have to allow that child to be in that space. So now, how can someone that lives here in Cape Town and doesn't go to Eastern Cape for maybe 5 years, 6 years, goes to Eastern Cape and then waits for 3 years and goes back again, how will that person actually know in Eastern Cape? Because that person doesn't want to be in that space, most. Okay, that parent doesn't allow that kid to actually get to be in that space, to actually like know his window. Yeah. So what I mean by this is Abazan have to take their children or their kids to where they can receive this knowledge, which is in Eastern Cape. Can you case it in? I don't know. But at some point, you have to let your kids be there in that space, you know. Let your kids ask questions when they are there in that space, so that children can know exactly, okay, so it's the parents to blame.
So they think we're lost?
Yeah, somehow, if your parents don't care, then you will be lost, for sure. As a young man that grows up in a space where Abazal Bako don't allow you to be like in those spaces, you will be lost.
It's not because, like, let me clarify this before I ask this question. It's not because I'm not focusing on women, right?
Okay.
But I feel like as men, we go through a lot and we are not noticed as young men mostly.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I'm emphasizing these questions and basing it on men mostly.
Yeah.
Right? Having that in mind, right? Do you think that preserving culture and preserving tradition can be a helpful thing for men, young men such as us, going forward?
Yeah, I think it can.
How so?
I think it can because I think I've been saying the same thing all over again. But then I'll say it again because I'm proud to say it again. Knowing your tradition and culture will help you grow as a person and know yourself as this man that you are. For example, because I did what was supposed to be done in my culture. I've been in the root, and even if my daughter in one room, we would speak the same language because we know what we've done, we know what we went through in our culture. So by actually like being in doing such things that are related to your culture will let you connect to your people, you know, in a way that you guys know, like as easy, you know, that people don't know about the culture, you know, the tradition, yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Now this question is for everyone. Do you think that us doing the culture that's going on, that's happening right now, like this decision between Zulu, Xhosa, Pedi, and all of those things, do you think we hate each other?
I think there's a misunderstanding on us. Like, I think we don't understand each other in a way that I would say, like, we think, okay, for example, us as Xhosa, we think that our culture or tradition, the way we do things is better than maybe Zulu people. Like, we think we're better than the others, but I don't know.
Is that a good way to go, though?
No, because it's not, bruh. It's not, trust me, it's not. Because that actually raises something like ignorance, for example. Because if like, you actually think like that every day, then for sure you will never know anything. You know, you will never know how people do things in their own way. As Zulu people, you will never know that AmaZulu you just stick to being Xhosa and just going your own way and not willing to let yourself explore other things. So yeah, but other gens can also have their say.
What do you think, gens? Do you think we hate each other? Different cultures, different tradition?
No.
We don't hate each other?
No, we
So
don't.
what's happened? Because there's this big current that's going on. It's like these different tribes, different traditions, different cultures, they're just clashing every single time. What do you think is a problem?
Is it our generation which is clashing here?
I don't think it's our generation.
Because I think the truth is also in this room. Like all of us are from different tribes, from different cultures. But look at where we are today. We're talking, we're engaging in conversation, we're sharing ideas. So I don't think so. Like
I don't think we are.
I think it's an ego thing.
Okay.
I'll say it's a thing of who's better. It's not that we hate each other, but it's a fight of who's the better tribe.
Which is closer.
You see what's happening now? You see what's happening now?
It's a fight of which tribe is better.
Well, in terms of what? You're better in terms of what?
In terms of how you do things and the type of people the culture produces.
So what do you think?
I feel like the hate that I have, it's not like the hate.
You're not promoting hate. You're not promoting hate.
You know, the thing that I realized about most cultures is they have lost their roots, they've lost their tradition. So I'm very much against that.
Okay.
I'm Xhosa and we do things
In a certain way.
in a certain way. And I feel like most cultures have lost it. They're just going to the Western world. So I'm very much against that.
So that's why you have this.
I could say so. I could say so.
Okay. Nah,
I think it's like most of it, it's online. Yeah. I think it's just banter.
Okay.
Because we make jokes about it on Twitter, TikTok, and everything else, but in real life, I think it's all love.
Yeah.
But based on his question, which was, is it our generation? I think it's something that has always been there. Because I think we can attribute this thing back to apartheid, actually. Because the apartheid government used to try to create such rules to separate. I think it was called divide and conquer.
Yeah, divide and conquer.
Yeah, so it was something that was there a long time ago, which didn't necessarily succeed, but it's still there in some people's hearts. It's still there, you know what I mean? But I just think it's better online. Because in real life it doesn't exist.
I don't really think.
What do you
does
think?
exist. I don't really think it does exist. I feel like going with him. I think it's a matter of people just talking banter. It's not a real thing. Even when someone's this thing. Even when you're chilling with people in a Zulu culture, right, we'll talk shit about you guys. Like we really say a lot of things about Xhosa people. But when we're here, it's all love, just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we never say anything bad when you're here. But when you're not here, I will say a lot of things. You know what I mean? Same thing, I'm sure it's same thing with that. I'm doing the same thing with you also. So I don't think it's like it's that much of a thing.
Okay.
I think it's just banter and all of that. So as we're nearing the close of this section, do you have any advice related to religion, related to tradition for the youth of South Africa going forward?
Yeah, the advice that I would say to everyone that is there, you see that actually doesn't have any knowledge or does have like less of information about their tradition and culture. I would say that try by all means to know exactly your tradition and your culture, because that will lead you to where you want to be. Talking from experience, good people. I'm here playing down the Goyo because I know tradition and culture. I know it. So whoever is watching Mhlambi, I would advise them to dig deep, get the information that they actually need to actually know about the tradition and the cultures, so that man, it's related and so on, man, know who we are and know exactly where we come from.
For me, I would say this: as a black person, as a young black person who has grown up in this society or this economy, I've seen a lot. They have taken a lot from us as black people. Right? They have taken margin very.
When you say they, who
I can't mention. If I mention that, this podcast will end. If I mention that, but again, just know that they've taken a lot. The one thing they can't take away from us is tradition. The one thing they can't take away from us is culture. The one thing they can't take away from us is the pride we have from where we come from. So I'm saying to you guys, if you don't know where you come from, then you have nothing, guys. I'm sorry. As a black person, you have nothing if you don't know where you come from. So know your culture, know your tradition, know your values, and I'm still saying it again, know your morals. Because that would be a basis or a structure for you to strive as a person. Because if you know who you are, you're gonna have identity, which A lot of people are dealing with right now. They are losing it. They are losing their identity. So to know where you come from is a great thing, and it's a great asset to have, because they can take everything from us, but they cannot take tradition away from us. So do you have anything you want to add?
That's beautiful. Hi, community, yeah, I think I'm actually cool. My twenty, I'm also in and yeah, man. I hope I'm something about what you said today.
So yeah, guys, this has been the Collection Podcast. Go by the name of John. See you in the next one. Thank you.